it's September 9th, 2010, and I'm here to give you an update, a short little update, and then tons of Q&As, because there's so many questions, and some of them are really relevant, and some of them are really interesting, so I want to get to all of them if I can manage. So this week has been really great, actually. My calories haven't been perfect, but they've been really, really good, especially considering that I have gone out most nights over the last week. So I've been able to stay under my calories and exercise somewhat and still go out a lot, and I'm just blown away that it hasn't been a lot worse than it was, so I'm feeling really positive about that. Something that I've really noticed is that the last week for me has really been about baby steps. Baby steps in drinking less soda, baby steps in drinking more water, baby steps in eating smaller meals more frequently. I used to do that. I used to eat 6 to 8 meals a day, just 150 to 250 calories each. And I've slowly progressed back into the few hundred calories for breakfast, few hundred calories for lunch, tons of calories for dinner. And I hate that. It's not conducive to losing weight. It's not even healthy. You should be eating more while you need the energy throughout the day. So anyway, this week I've really been making an effort to eat smart in the morning and keep eating regularly so I'm fully energized all the time. I don't get huge cravings and then want to eat piles later. It really helps. And also, most importantly, it's been about water, and I actually have to fill this up today because I just got up recently. But Carla talked about water a lot in her video for Team 3 for Hot for Halloween this week, so if you haven't been watching the Hot for Halloween videos, go over and check that video out so you can have more information about how much water you should be drinking. There's many schools of thought. The one that I subscribe to is simply an easy numbers game, which is taking your weight, whatever number that is. Mine is 160, let's say 168 for ease. In half, that would be 84. So if you just take the number of your weight and divide it in half, the number that you get as an answer should be the amount of ounces that you should drink, approximately. Now, if you weigh 350 pounds, you're like, I'm not drinking 175 ounces of water every day. That's fine. Everybody should aim to drink at least 64. I'm aiming for 80. So this is 32 ounces a day. Or a bottle, and then I usually have 2 of these, and this has only been like the last couple days. In fact, I haven't even switched to the water bottle until just yesterday. I think many of you would recall that about a month and a half ago, I was talking about how I started to drink water first thing in the morning, like before I consumed anything else. I had a big tall glass of water. Well, one of the baby steps I've had in the last few weeks that I forgot to mention is that I have now been trying to drink at least a glass of water first thing in the morning with every meal and then before I go to bed at night. So I've been getting maybe 40 ounces of water a day, like intentionally, plus whatever else I drink during the day, you know, unintentionally. And so now I feel like it's finally time to make that conscious step toward really drinking all the water I want to be drinking. So for me, that means 2.3 water bottles. It's like 2 plus then usually I have another glass or 2 of water at night. And I feel really wonderful. So that's awesome. And thank you, Carla, for reminding me that I need to get on the ball with that and not just be happy with my baby step, but push it a little bit more. I've been at maintaining my current weight for the last 2 months and have been having relatively low calories most days, as well as doing 4 to 5 days of cardio exercise a week. This week I had the flu, so I didn't work out, but maintained the same amount of calories, and I dropped 6 pounds. I have no idea how I lost weight when not exercising. This is an excellent question. You know, I want to point out that I don't have an answer. I mean, who knows? But there could be many, many reasons, and it's something we all should hear, because it comes back to the point of we're not simply machines with input and output. I wish, because then it would be so easy. Eat lower calories, exercise, guaranteed weight loss. Wouldn't that be awesome? But no, we're complex organisms with a million things going on inside, and crazy factors that we didn't even expect can dramatically affect our weight loss. You could have been working out way too much, and the break allowed your body to go yes and just burn fat and not have to be exhausting itself working out. It could be that you are severely dehydrated right now, and as you slowly get back into eating regular foods like you normally do and drinking lots of water, that your weight will go back up a bit, and you shouldn't be disappointed if that's the case. That's a good thing. It means you're hydrating. It could also be that when you had the flu, you didn't eat nearly as many solid, heavy foods as you normally do. And you have to remember that part of our weight, part of what we see on the scale, is what's in our gut, what's in our miles of intestine, what's in there and how is it fluctuating, how fast is it moving out. These things really matter. So when you have something like the flu, it could very well be that you're just pooping out all the heavy foods and not adding in heavy foods, and so you're going to be much lighter. Sometimes the body just needs the routine to be switched up. I mean, there's really no way to know, but my guess is that the pure act of mixing it up and changing the quantity of water and food, I think, probably, you said you were eating the same amount of calories, but were you eating the exact same foods? Because that's highly relevant. I think in the end it's just important to remember that when we switch things up and when our body's going through a lot of stuff we can't see, like fighting an illness, there are tons of things going on that we don't understand, and the body may just drop the weight. However, if you ever lose weight when you're sick, if you gain it back, do not be disappointed. Typically, I would say if you're sick, you shouldn't trust your weigh-ins the week of the sickness, the week after, or the week after that. So you might want to wait a month until you really trust what the scale says again, because a lot of crazy things are going on inside your body that you probably don't even know are happening as it's still repairing itself and healing from the sickness. One question I would love to ask you is if you have any advice regarding having a good body image after hitting goal size. When going through weight loss, I've noticed with myself and others that it's hard to see how your body has changed. Another question I would ask is how to deal with continuous comments about your weight when going through weight loss. I've noticed that losing weight invites other people to give uninvited advice regarding whether you are too big or too small. So let's address these questions in the order they come in. How do you deal with body image once you've hit goal weight? I don't know. One really excellent way is to keep your old clothes. Like I just did the before and after jeans video the other day, and that's a huge way to realize that my body is thinner. Another way is to Google people who are your height and weight. Just, woman 5'9", 165 pounds. And go look at what other people look like at your weight. You may be surprised at how thin some of them look to you. You just look at them and go, am I really that size? I thought I was still kind of obese, but she looks really thin. And that has helped me a ton. There's probably a million other pieces of advice for that, but that really helps me, is constantly realizing how small I am by going shopping and seeing the sizes I can fit, by trying on my old fat clothes, and by comparing my body to other people who are the same height and weight as me. I start to realize I'm a lot thinner than I see myself. I still see myself as pretty fat, when in fact, I'm pretty average size now. Regarding unsolicited advice, I would just say, be gracious. When people are offering advice about whether you're too big, too small, whether you should be eating more calories or less carbs or less meat or more protein, whatever people are shoving in your face as a recommendation, whether you asked for it or not, I would just say be gracious. And I've said this before, it's really hard to support someone losing weight. I mean, what do you say? You can't say, you're fat, keep going. It's a touchy subject. And so people want to dump information on you, whatever they've heard. And I would just smile and say, that's really interesting, I'll look into it. Or, hey, I've heard that before, I'll do some more research. Or if you know it's not something you want to do, you can say, that sounds really wonderful, but from my research I've decided that it's not for me. You don't have to put them down or tell them I don't need advice or I don't want to hear what you have to say about my size. If it's unsolicited, that's the rudeness of the person who's giving it to you, or perhaps the ignorance of the person giving it to you if they don't realize how sensitive it can be. And I find the best way to approach that is just to smile and nod. I mean, the advice is endless because there's so many things to do to lose weight if you want to explore them all. But I think what's very important to remember is you got to do what you got to do. And everybody's going to be full of advice and opinions. And you just simply have to smile and nod and tell them, thanks. Antishay, I have a question. If you worked out fantastically 6 times a week and were eating great raw food and you felt alive and fabulous, but you still had some tummy fat and jiggly bits, would you be upset and still trying to improve? I wouldn't be so upset about the fat and jiggly bits. The reason that I'm so critical of my body right now is because I know I'm not doing everything to get to the body I want. I'm not working out every day of the week. I'm not eating super lean, super healthy foods. I'm not getting all my water every single day. I'm not doing all the things I need to do to get to my goal weight. And so, my body doesn't look like I want it to ultimately look. But if I am doing everything, if I'm working out fantastically, I feel great, I have energy, my food is awesome, and my body is still a little flabby, okay. Honestly, I think I will be fine with it, if that's the case. But the whole idea is that by the time I'm working out that hard and eating that healthy, it just has nothing to do with my body. At that, like my physical appearance, at that point, it's all about how healthy I'm feeling and how much I can push myself and how excellent I can do at these athletic activities. And if I keep that up for my whole life, the loose skin will go away. you get a whole new body every 7 years. So within 7 years, my skin will be an entirely new skin, and I will grow less of it if I don't need as much. So over time, you can lose loose skin. Over time, I can firm my body up. Over time, stretch marks become clear. Over time, and with lots of hard work and diligence for years and years, I think that no matter how my body ends up, it's never going to stop changing. And all I can do is keep pursuing health, health, health. Because if I pursue health forever, I will always be bettering my body. So, I mean, honestly, if I'm flabby at the end, okay. Obviously, I was never meant to be super fit. I love coffee 1. Did you change your goal weight? I thought it was 148 or 145 or something. No, I didn't change my goal weight. I kind of moved it around though, because I hit my goal of 160 and then I gained 13 pounds over the following year. I'm now just really working to lose those 13. Once I hit 160, which is first goal again, then I am going to try to get to between 140 and 155. Somewhere in there. I used to want to hit 148 because that would be 70 pounds lost since I started my journey. But I've already hit 65 pounds lost from my highest weight, so that final weight was a bit arbitrary for the purposes of the particular New Year's resolution that I made, and it's not so important to me anymore. The scale is not so important to me anymore, honestly. What I want is to have a toned, healthy body, and what the weight says when I have a toned, healthy body, I think that will be my goal. XOX much love. How tall are you? This is up for debate. The last time I officially measured myself was at the doctor's office in high school. And since then I've done a lot of arbitrary measurements, and it seems that I'm at least 5'9" now, but I should do an official measurement because I don't know. But I'm extremely tall, which is why my goal weight can be 160 and I can look so slim. I mean, it really changes. As you get taller, a lot more weight will be on your body regardless for muscle and bone and things, and that's just the way it is. You look amazing, Shanti. I'm really rooting for you to lose the rest of the weight that you want to. What are you going to do on YouTube once you lose all the weight and are at a place you want to be? That's a scary thought. Maybe. I think I'm going to be on YouTube for a very long time. I mean, there's always the possibility that someday I will be completely burnt out on it. But who knows? There are so many things I want to talk about besides weight loss that I don't even feel like I have the time or energy to devote to right now. I want to talk way more about financial planning and about organizing and about self-improvement and self-love, how to work out relationships, which I know tons about. There's just so many things that I could talk about. Who knows? Getting married, having babies, becoming a mother, you know, homeschooling children. There's so much life ahead of me. I just can't possibly see me running out of things to talk about. Hypothetically, if you recorded these episodes of Weight Loss and Words of Wisdom but didn't upload them onto YouTube, do you think you'd still be as successful? I'm not really comfortable putting them on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know that I would be as successful because one of the huge things that keeps us going is a support system and the constant motivation and inspiration that we get from sharing this very delicate part of our lives with so many other people who are sharing this delicate part of their lives as well. It's an intimate circle, even though it's broad and even though there are haters and super mean people. When you are public about it, we all get to be in this little intimate bubble of we're working on something very hard and we're going to support each other through it and we're going to hold hands and make sure that we get through it. But if you don't want to post your videos, I think it would still be great to document the process. I have another friend who actually has lost quite a bit of weight, and she has never put a video on YouTube. I've met her through YouTube, but she's never put videos on YouTube. And she just did it so that, you know, she would be able to look back and reference herself and see how far she had come, which she said was a huge measure of inspiration every time she needed it. So I do think you can lose as much weight as you want to lose on or off YouTube, but there is something to say about putting it out here because you'll get the constant intimacy of the other people who are sharing as well. Anyway, that's all we had time for. I'm sorry I can't get to more questions every week, but I'm doing my best. I hope you guys are all taking really, really good care. Keep on being healthy and keep supporting each other and keep sticking around. We can do it. I know we're going into fall. Everybody's starting school. Some people are like, yay, the kids are at school again. Other people are already bogged down with homework. Whatever your situation is, try and figure out a way to make it work and try and figure out a way to, at the very least, maintain as opposed to gaining when things get changed up and possibly more stressful. Take care, everybody. If you're in the States, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. I will see you guys next week.